Hi, I'm back. I'm supposed to be getting my lunch ready to eat, but instead I had some thoughts. Warning, be careful what you say. Last week I was speaking to a couple of ladies, and at the end of the conversation, I made a comment about, this is what I believe now, ask me next month what I believe, at that point. And so what happens this week? Well, I ran across more information on different things that I've been studying over the last few years regarding the hidden history of the planet, the Anunnaki, the Atlanteans, the Sumerians. Oh my gosh. So I decided after a few minutes or within an hour, I decided to go ahead and check out some of the information. And it turns out this information is through what is called an interdimensional portal. Don't be alarmed. I wasn't really concerned as much. Well, I kind of was concerned about that because I know you can't believe everything you hear, and you kind of want to know where the information is coming from. But I think the main thing is, at least with me, is does it resonate with you, the information? And the information has been filling in the blanks in some of the things that I had questions about. Yeah, I really can't give an example. I'm really bad at examples. I gotta stop saying I'm bad at examples because it seems like I'm getting worse every time I say it. Okay. Speaking of which, the main thing that this information has revealed to me is that we live in this consciousness system, but it's an actual system. And when I think of a system, because I'm such a computer nerd, I think of computer systems and how each system works together for the whole. They're individual parts and individual things that you add to the computer, but also then they work together to create, the internet and the software, and everything works together. So this person is saying that we actually live within a system called the consciousness system, and that even our body organs are part of the system, and that each organ has its own purpose, not just within our body, but within the system itself. And things that happen, for example, you may think they are random, but in reality it's part of the system, the way you were designed for certain points in your life, say to learn information, or to, even though you got married and ended up getting a divorce, that was also taken account within your physical DNA system, and the DNA is also part of the system. And all I kept thinking on some of this information was that in the Bible it says that God says He has a plan for you, and then there's also the part where it says that God knows everything. Well, God, aka Anu, from the Anunnaki. Yeah, now that makes sense, right? I had already heard about the Anunnaki. I'd read a book, I'd seen information all over the internet, and so I'd already kind of knew what was going on. But then this information goes more into detail about how we were created, how Anu wanted, of course, if you haven't heard the story, is he wanted to mine gold on the planet, and because he wanted to save his own planet, but also he wanted a backup plan in case his planet didn't make it. So he needed to, well, first of all, there were beings created that were not able to reproduce. And so it was going to be more like an assembly line where they had to keep creating and creating. And so he said, no, let's do this a different way. Let's do it so that the systems or the beings can recreate themselves instead of us having to do it. And it's interesting because I've always thought of that when I've read about the Anunnaki and how they created us, and then how we were basically sterile in the beginning and then able to recreate ourselves. I'd already heard that. So it kind of again fell into place. But so anyway, so within the creations in this particular information, it tells how the systems were created for different reasons, the time, the long time period it took to finally get things to work the way that we work as a body system. But again, we're a body system within a system within the illusion, the holographic universe, whatever. We think we have free thinking, and reality is part of our design. Of course, I was not happy about that because I'm one of those people that wants to be genuinely me. So that was a reason that I was really even more interested in this information, because I want the bottom line of how I can be me and not someone's program. Yeah, so yeah, I started to get a little irritated, and then it tells you how not to get ahead of yourself. Talks a lot about not living in the past and not trying to go into the future, but to live in the now, which is like all I ever talk about. Okay, not ever, but I talk a lot about, living in the now and in the moment. So of course I'm really interested to hear more, because I believe that, and you know what? I have been taught that living in the now is good, and I've experienced it for myself, that when you stay in the moment of here, I'm sitting, I'm talking into the recorder, and if you can stay in the moment, then things start to happen. And now I'm thinking, well, those things that have happened that are in relation to me being in my moments are actually me being on the right track to get out of the system. And of course, so I'm still listening to the series, and it goes a lot into sex and the real purpose for it. You have to listen to that yourself, because it's all about energies, and some of the energies actually they enhance this particular system. Not to say that it's bad, but it's to say that if you're not in the moment, even at that moment, then you're still accessing and creating, and you're enhancing the system that is a system. It's not a true reality. It's a trick. And I always end up saying it's a trick. So anyway, so I've been listening to this, and there's like 100 and something videos. Luckily they're only less than 10 minutes, but I'm up to 90. And I did skip to the end. But because I skipped to the end, I'm really not sure if I understand the end. So now I have to go back to 90 and keep listening. But some people have had issues with these videos. I kind of can see why, partially because we're so used to believing things a certain way, and that's always hard, But in my case, again, I'd heard so much of the information already, and I believed a lot of the information already, so that in my case, it was just filling in gaps. Okay, I normally do have issues when there's one source with a lot of information, though. So I am putting that out there. I'm not saying parts of it or pieces of it aren't true, though. I'm just saying that even when I listened to Lisa Renee, and she had a really, at the time, and I honestly can't even remember anything she said, but at the time, it felt right. And but I really didn't like that she had so much of the information. Again, that could just simply be my human way of thinking, that even though, and even me, I have a lot of information from all over the place. I can't even give you a lot of references sometimes, but it seems to come through me and not from me. So maybe that's why I'm relating more to this information than some people might. Anyway, the series of videos is called History of Mankind, It's on YouTube, and I want to get off of here really quick because the longer I talk, the longer it's going to take to upload this. So I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.